All right, regroup. No problem, guys. No problem. You win some, you lose some.
Everything went fine. Everything was okay-ish.
That could have gone worse.
Could it?
Maybe. It's time for the live show recap.
Sorry.
Somebody laughed. Somebody did laugh.
It wasn't me.
You would never. This week. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Podcast Very Important, the only podcast you should be listening to. Each week, we count down the top 10 number one most important things you need to know about any given subject. And our subject this week is the live show.
Our live show.
Last night, we had a live show at Toronto at Tall Boys. No doubt many of you were there. We probably have a few listeners, new listeners from that show now. So welcome to the podcast. My name's Connor Doyle. With me, of course, is Shane Cooley.
What's up?
And Jack Piss is not here for obvious reasons.
For any of you who were at the live show, you know why Jack is not here.
So we figured because of, all that happened at the live show, because of the headlines, we really need to regroup and sort of do a debrief on this show.
Yeah, we kind of had a policy before this live show that was, don't talk about the live show. We did it. It's in the past.
Don't talk about the live show. That was number one rule about the PVI club. Don't talk about the live show.
Mm-hmm. I mean, outside of our ads for the live show and us telling our friends to go.
End of every episode, we say it. But other than that, don't talk about the live show. Don't talk about it after it's happened. We made a pact early on. If it isn't a good review, don't say it.
Yeah.
So we've been forced to not talk about the live show.
By us. Until now. Because, as those of you who went know, there's a lot to talk about in what happened last night. Are we allowed? Oh, yeah, okay. I meant legally, are we allowed to talk about it? Ongoing investigations, obviously.
Look, guys, our lawyers do not want us to do this public debrief with you about the show, but we felt that we need to do it.
We're not going to go under the foot of big law.
Here's the thing. Laws only apply to you if you believe in them. It's like how if I close my eyes, I can't see you.
And you don't
exist. If I ignore it, the problem and the law will go away.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's go from the top. What happened right at the start?
Yeah, okay. I know what you guys are thinking. Whose idea was this? Huh? Who thought this could ever go off well? Okay, here goes my hand. I'm putting it up.
Yeah,
I'm the dum-dum.
Yeah.
Stuff went wrong. I'll be the first to admit it. Is it my fault stuff went wrong? Maybe.
Maybe
I'll
a
be
little
the first
bit.
to admit that. Maybe a little bit. Maybe I share.
I don't know if you're the first to
admit
it. There was a lot of people who were like, Connor, you did this wrong. And you said, shut the fuck up. You're paying double now.
Yeah, they did that on the night. Yeah. Front row. Mm.
So, step one, what do you need when
Don't have a rude crowd.
Yes. Okay. It was mainly the crowd's fault.
At the beginning, so what? I came up and I was wearing something. I didn't realize it was as offensive as it was.
Yes, you did have your prom gown that, in retrospect, looks a bit like the ISIS flag.
It looks a little bit like the ISIS flag.
If you're looking for that.
Yeah, exactly. And so, oh, wow, here comes the ISIS flag guy.
Yeah, it was rude when they pointed that out. When they kept calling you the ISIS flag guy.
Yeah. I agree.
You said, hey, it's a black dress and it's got a bunch of white squiggles on it. It's a bit of a Rorschach test, and I think that's telling us more about you than it is about us.
That's right. I actually got it for free as a gift from my friend who was fleeing the Middle East.
You said, can you hold on to this for me? And you said,
on a student
gladly.
exchange problem. And I said, sure, man. No problem.
He had a student exchange problem, and you're like, I'll solve it.
My friend just had a little student exchange problem, and I thought, oh, I'll be a good person and help him out. And then he gives me a beautiful dress, a beautiful prom dress with this gorgeous black sheen to it and some very angry writing. I thought it looked lovely. I said, what's this say? He says, you look beautiful. And I didn't care what it said at that point. I was just lost in his eyes.
Yeah, he had beautiful eyes. You said it.
Shane, are you okay? See, this story...
You said sis. You said, I sis. You look beautiful. And where's the wrong in that? Where's the wrong in that? Well, apparently the crowd found a lot of wrong in that. And they're talking over us while we're doing our intro. Which, a beautiful intro. Flawless intro.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, I did yell at some of the crowd, but still.
And they deserved it.
I was thinking about my exchange student problems that my friend had.
Yeah, okay. And here, we'll admit another fault. Connor's head was somewhere else.
I couldn't focus, guys.
On the other hand, I had the opposite problem. I had taken a bunch of focus medication. I thought it would keep me more alert, more attuned. I took a bunch of baby Adderall. And I think because of that, I was really studying the details of the crowd's faces. There were long stretches where I didn't say anything, but I was thinking.
Well, you were working on your blocks. Shane he came up to the front there while I was haranguing the crowd in my ISIS dress. Shane, of course, was up front with one of those little like beads and wire toys that you get in the doctor's office.
Yeah, the surreal abacus, yeah.
Yeah, he was doing math on that like I'd never seen before. I was seeing him add up sums, like he was adding up meanness factors plus cookie equals spit, and he would be drooling. And I was saying, Shane, focus on the show, man.
Yeah, okay. Maybe, one of the problems was how much we were squabbling on stage, but I think it was because we were all so heightened. You know, you had your head in the student exchange problems. I had my head in the abacus problems. You kept saying, have you solved it yet? And I was thinking too fast to describe it, you know? It was a bit of a Flowers for Algernon situation. I had become so intelligent that I was impossible to be around.
Are you sure? Are you sure that's what happened?
I think... Why, do you have another account? Are you reading a review?
During that bit, of course, I was yelling, I was screaming, and my face was red, so it was hard for me to remember a lot of stuff. But
yeah,
I don't think the stuff you were doing was that great. I do remember you making mess in your pants.
Yeah, I was focused. They were my my fashion pants.
Yes, Shane's bathroom pants.
Adult receptacle.
Adult receptacle. That sounds like it fits an entire adult in it, which I guess pants do. Really, clothes are adult receptacles.
And I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Jack. He, at this point, was convinced he was a member of the audience.
Yeah, he was the one I was yelling at mostly. He was the one bringing up the ISIS flag problem. And my God, guys, I don't know. He was really just getting under my skin yesterday.
Yeah, and you know, at first the audience wasn't heckling much outside of Jack, but I think he riled them up.
Well, yeah, he came out there to a wrestling song, kind of like Chris Jericho. He came out in spandex.
Yeah.
And was just like hyping the crowd out. It's a shopping cart song, which he forced us to put in, by the way, guys. We know our audience skews younger, and we said, well, we don't know if they're even going to get that reference. We don't know if they're even going to do that. If they're going to understand what we're talking about. And he says, they'll know shopping cart
If you're
song.
not 30 plus have you watched CKY? Probably not. Why would you?
Here's the other thing, guys. I don't know the shopping cart song. I am 30 plus. And I'm friends with these two goons. And you know what? It's not called shopping cart song. I tried to look it up and find it. There's no shopping cart song.
Look, if you know, you know. So Jack was in the audience. He was heckling quite loudly. He had his wrestling song playing. This was over top of me using my surreal abacus and Connor yelling about how his beautiful dress has nothing to do with ISIS.
No, I was like, you should have seen his
okay.
eyes. His eyes were beautiful. So eventually that all had calmed down, right? Yeah. Eventually we were able to...
Eventually we got bored.
We contained Jack. Well, we all just, like, it kept going, and then we all stopped for a second and we're like, what are we even arguing about? This is silly.
Then we had a nice little laugh and a hug.
We're friends, and this isn't what friends do, not on show night. So we laughed and we touched each other's arms. Grabbed each other's shoulders. Wow, we guys.
We're talking. Yeah, this. I mean, it was from my perspective a breezy 20 minutes, and then we had our first comic come on stage. He couldn't make it, unfortunately. So we played. Yeah, we played a recording of Andrew Dice Clay from the 80s on the TV.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't Andrew Dice Clay. It was my dad's impression of Andrew Dice Clay. It was an old
Andrew
VHS.
Dad Clay.
Yeah. I mean, we could play a little bit of that if you want, Shane. We have a clip. I mean, this is part of the recap, guys. We like to go through and see what worked and what didn't. And I guess we'll start with Andrew Dad Clay. Yeah. Whoa, hey, we got a lot of millennial pussies in the house. Hey, you guys like classic rock? You want to build a dock? Whoa, hey, calm down, sugar tits. Dad, please. Calm down, sugar tits. You don't have to call me sugar tits, Dad.
I'm sorry, I have to leave. No, stay seated.
Stay seated.
We have locked the door.
Hey, where you going? You don't like just being yelled at by an offensive and obnoxious old white man? Why'd you even come to the comedy club?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. It's almost like, because it's backwards. Fuck you, Doyle. Okay.
Jeez.
Who wants me to smack him in the face? Dad, we need to get you off. Can we give him the light, please, guys? Oh, guys.
The light's not working. Okay.
When your mom left, I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought this was going to make me feel better. Stop it. It's not a joke. Dad's killing it. Oh,
he's actually doing pretty well
now. Okay. Andrew Dad Clay, everybody. Thank you. Woo. Now,
that went better than I remember.
Well, it was the highlight of the show. It goes downhill from here. Andrew Dad Clay was the highlight of the show for sure.
We should have him back.
No.
Okay.
I didn't like hearing all that stuff about how like he has feelings and is sad and things. He doesn't know what to do with those. What am I going to do with him? He has those feelings. Yeah. And I go, I don't know.
You said it was his Andrew Dice Clay impression. He normally talks like that, though.
Yeah, but he says he doesn't say pussy as much.
Fair. As much.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard him say that outside of the show. Outside of that, I really don't think he'd ever say that. He's a respectable man that likes April wine. Okay, guys? He likes to build docks and likes April wine. So lay off my dad. Get off my dad.
So Andrew Dad Clay performed, and then unfortunately it was back to us. This time around,
I was hoping it wasn't going to happen.
This time around, Jack was aware he was part of the show.
Yeah, Jack knew it. And of course he goes up there, and what's he doing? He's in a shopping cart.
Yeah, he wants us to play shopping cart song again. It didn't go well the first time, but he says repetition is the soul of wit.
He says, guys, push me down the aisle in the shopping cart. Repetition is the soul of wit. And shoot me off the end of that ramp that's there.
Yes. I think had just found out about Jackass, CKY, all of that. And he was like, guys, this is the cutting edge.
This is Jack's ass.
This is Jack's ass. He had a plumber's crack going on.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, I'll admit it. We pushed him off the ramp in the shopping cart.
What else were we supposed to do? Of course, we did not see the half-open door.
Yes. He went through it.
He went through it like Wile E. Coyote style.
I think it's the polite way to say. Yeah. Turns out it was actually a painting of a half-open door.
Yes.
Wile E. Coyote style. And listeners, have you seen the movie $1 Million Baby?
Oh, you haven't? It's wonderful.
It's very good, but a large portion of that movie is Sandra Bullock has her neck broken during a boxing fight.
Yeah, it's like a big portion of the movie is her getting her neck broken. It's like a Mortal Kombat zoom in. Some 45 minutes is just watching the vertebra.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to say Jack's mishap went exactly like that film because that would get us in legal trouble.
Yes.
But
that's right. That would. If you do have an accident like in a movie, like, so that's the problem. That's what people haven't people haven't talked about. It's like since Crash came out, since that movie came out, you get in a car accident, you're getting your pantsuit off.
Messy business.
Messy business.
Messy business. So that was kind of, I would say, the first piece of messy business we had that night.
Yes, that was the biggest piece of messy business so far in the show.
Yeah, Jack kept insisting that he was good to continue the show. At least that's what I thought he was trying to say.
Yeah.
So, and you know, anybody with neck trauma or spine trauma, they say, move him around, get him moving.
Mm-hmm.
So we had him on...
we used him like a skipping rope, didn't we? Like I grabbed his...
Yeah.
I grabbed his arms, you grabbed his legs, and we started going like swinging him around like a skipping rope.
Yeah, double dutch. We tried to get the crowd involved in this. I think they were too hysterical with laughter and or screams. I'm not sure what it was at that point, but yeah, I think this is another good opportunity to chastise the audience.
Yeah, guys, please. I get that, like, we think it's appropriate to call 911 at any time, but there are performers doing their jobs right now.
Yeah, can you wait?
Please.
Can you wait maybe a quick hour while we just wrap up our bit, then step outside, have your 911 call.
If you need to call 911, step outside at the end of the show or an intermission.
So I think that's a good bit of like constructive feedback we can use for the audience for the next show. I think if we say something like that up front, they'll be more engaged. They won't be tempted. Maybe we can have a bucket and throw all their phones into it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Here's a bucket. Mm-hmm. This bucket is called the no phone bucket. And it's the only place where phones go. And it's called the no phone bucket because no phone for you right now. If you want your phone and it's an emergency, please meet our staff at the back of the room who has a ledger. You'll sign out your phone. We have a tracker on it. We'd just like to know that you're coming back. There's a piece of string attached to it. That's the tracker. If you go too far, our staff member at the back, our host, will yank the phone back into the bucket, the no phone bucket. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's like we laid the ground rules. And if anybody's like, I feel like it's reasonable, you know?
Yeah. And I don't want to say this, but I would love to say it, is that our crowd is kind of unreasonable. And I think they need these kind of rules to keep them grounded.
They're insane. They're absolutely insane, Shane. Like I went and I thought, okay, this will be a nice crowd. This will be a nice comedy club crowd. Like watching a little bit of slime, a little bit of laughs, a little bit of baby aspirin. No way. I got in there, guys, and it was like a Kiss concert.
Oh my God.
People
Debaucherous.
sticking their tongues out, partying all night long. And that's what they'd say. I went in there and I went, "Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming to the show." And you know what one said to me? They were like, "I want to party all night." I said, "Oh my God.
All night? This show's only 3 hours."
I said, "You can't do that." They said, I'm gonna have a mimosa. I was like, "Oh my God." So yeah, we do get some wildcats there. So maybe we should start thinking about security for ourselves.
Yes.
You know, because there's shopping carts flying around on stage all the time. There's rogue hecklers and Speedos with ass cracks showing. Ay. I'm feeling sick. I think we should.
Well, that was me.
No, yeah, that was you, but I still feel sick. Do we want to maybe have a little break and then we'll come back and finish off our recap?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll be right back with more Podcast Very Important after this. Podcast Very Important. Podcast Very Important. Okay, so I guess it's time now that we're back to figure out what you did over the break, Shane.
Yeah, I was talking to the owner of Tall Boys, the bar that we performed at.
Wonderful bar.
And yes, wonderful bar, wonderful guy, I used to think, until he started barking at me on the phone.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was saying that he never wants to see me again. I was like, that's fine, close your eyes. He was saying, I don't want anything in any way that's very important anywhere near my bar. And I said, joke's on you. We're signed in on a contract. So that shouldn't affect the live show at all, I think. But I do warn audience members and cast and crew that you're going to have to sneak in. Because he said if he sees any of us, it's on site.
Yeah, shows are going to be a lot quicker now, guys. So that's cool. We're going for more often, not as long shows.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And what did you do on the break, Connor?
Oh, well, I was sourcing a new venue.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, pretty good. So, of course, I was looking for ones that were free. I was looking for ones with high traffic.
Good.
And I was looking for ones that would elevate us and get us in front of people who maybe wouldn't normally come to our show.
Who wouldn't want to come to our show.
That's right.
Yes.
So I was in the lobby of RBC.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I just was like, let's see, like, who here likes improv? Nobody stopped.
And they all said, shh.
Well, they didn't even seem to see me. They just kept they just went up the elevator.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if anybody ever really stays in a lobby, you know?
And you think this might be the next venue, or you're crossing that off the list?
Let's cross it off the list. I don't like people making fun of my ISIS dress, but I prefer them to notice me. It's important for the show. My goodness.
Okay, so for now, we're still at Tall Boys.
For now, we're at
but we'll circle
Tall
back.
Boys. We don't know when we're going to be there because depending on how we break in. Like, listeners, go for the first of the month. Our next one's going to be December 6th. So please show up December 6th. But also just go to Tall Boys and maybe, you know, you'll hear like a psst, hey, psst, ah. And you like look up and there's just like two sets of eyes looking down at you from the rafters. Shane and I, hey man.
With newspapers in front of us with the eye holes cut out.
Yeah, in the ceiling so we don't look conspicuous. And we go, hey, you like to laugh, big guy? And we'll say that regardless of gender. That's more of like a you know, like dude or man. We just
and you'll say, you talking to me?
We'll say, yeah. Is there anybody else here? And you'll go.
And you'll say, yeah, there's a bunch of people.
Bar. And we'll say, shh, there's not enough time. We need your help. Downstairs is a room, a locked room.
And you'll start drawing a map on a napkin.
You'll go, yeah, okay. And then a FedEx employee will walk up to you, hand you an envelope, and walk away without even asking for your signature. That's strange. They usually ask for your signature. What's this? This FedEx employee looks a lot like Jack Piss.
And he'll tip his hat and he'll give you a knowing wink like Santa Claus.
But then you'll go like, what is this? And then the bartender's going to look at you. And then we're going to say, don't give it away. You look back down. Mm-hmm. You rip open the envelope. What's inside? Huh?
It's a ticket for one to the show. Redeemable as long as you pay $10.
Don't let anybody see that you have this. It's as good as gold.
Hide it.
It's as good as
hide it in your sleeve.
As good as $10 worth of gold, my friend.
And the bartender's looking at you, and he says, "Are you drunk?" And you say, "Yeah." And he says, "Good. That's what we do here.
That's the point of this place." And you say, "I know." He says, "Good." And you say, "Good, great."
And you said, "Do you know?" And he says, "Yeah. It's my job." And we say, "Dude,
the show's about to start.
Don't flip out.
Get downstairs, man." And again, we're saying dude and man, gender neutral.
Yeah. We don't care what kind of
thing you is. You were gonna say thing. And that's true. We don't bring your animals. I was
going to say guy.
Oh yeah, we don't care what kind of dude you are.
We don't care what kind of guy you are. If you're a guy or some sort of dude.
Okay, so that's good. So we do believe that this. Oh, okay, this is one of our best show recaps. I think, Shane. I'm feeling good for next month's show, and I'm feeling good. I think for this one that we're going to do.
Yeah, in retrospect, I think the live show was perfect in every way. I don't know why we opened with an apology.
Yeah, it's actually kind of great. At least we assume it's going to be. We are recording this ahead of time. We aren't going to have time to do our usual post-show recap. So this is pre-recorded.
We're doing this a week ahead of time.
Yeah, sorry. We are recording this on October 23rd. So this is how we expect the show to go.
Yeah. It's heavily scripted, so
you can bet it's probably this.
I'm sure all that stuff will end up happening.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess now it's time for the top 10 number ones.
No.
Can you believe it?
No way.
Yeah, dude. It's the top 10 number ones of the November 1st live show recap. Wowee.
Oh my God.
Number 10. First rule about the live show. Don't talk about the live show. Only talk about it if it's good. We were still waiting to talk about it for a while. Number 9, the law will go away if you ignore it long enough. Mm-hmm. We have found that out. They don't come after you. Number 8, don't have a rude crowd that points out your mistakes.
Ugh.
Okay? Number 7, if your exchange student friend has problems and gives you a beautiful dress, don't wear it to a show.
No, you know what? I'll contradict that. I think you were right to do it.
Was I brave?
Yeah. And I think you FaceTiming your friend as you're trying to explain this to people and, him in front of a green screen, doing Lord knows what. I wasn't paying too much attention to it. Holding that journalist hostage.
Yeah, well, I mean...
I think that explained it all.
Yeah, the effects in that were shockingly realistic. I think he might be like a special effects guy back where he's from. He might work on prosthetics and things because I don't know how they did that. It had to have been green screen. Number 6. Shane took way too much baby Adderall and was sort of stuck in his calculations on the wonky abacus for a lot of the show. He didn't figure out much, but it definitely looked impressive.
I think it might be misremembering. I think I got some real work done, and the people loved it.
Yeah. Number 5, Jack came out to Shopping Cart Song in a Speedo with his ass crack showing and was heckling me about my beautiful dress. I got really angry and was red-faced with him about that. Our first comedian came on, really highlighted the show. Andrew Dad Clay showed up. It basically just like my dad, except says the word pussy more. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, a lot more.
Number 3, we got a look at Jack's ass, which is Jack has just seen Jackass. He was in a shopping cart and he went through a door that was actually a painting on a concrete wall. So that's why Jack's not here today. He is, again, as we are pre-recording this, Jack is pre-injured. Number 2, lots of messy business on that show. Lots of messy business. So please, please, just wait until intermission or the end of the show to call 911. There are performers. We live in a society. Hey,
be a little grateful.
The top 10 number 1 most important thing that you need to know about last night's live show is... it hasn't happened yet. We've pre-recorded this recap because we aren't going to have enough time to actually do the recap. But we assume it will go very similarly to this.
Oh, it'll be so good.
Won't it?
Exactly like we said.
Won't it?
Oh, won't it?
Yes. Now, listeners, if you like this episode, please leave the following review on Apple Podcasts. Wow.
I
can't
even
believe
what
I'm
doing
with
all
the
jokes
and
laughter
that's
coming
out
of
my
head.
Thank
the
gods
I
found
this
podcast
because
I
now
am
laughing
and
joking
out
of
my
head.
Wow. Okay. So if you guys like this podcast, please please give us 5 stars. You the following review. Wow. I can't even believe what I'm doing with all the joke and laughter that's coming out of my head. Thank the gods I found this podcast because now I am laughing and joking out of my head. Thank you to Shane Cooley, the big guy over here.
Thank you to Connor Doyle, the little guy over there.
This has been Podcast Very Important, Funny and True. Uh-huh. Podcast Very Important. Podcast Very Important.
Not sorry.